Of 3KG Community Broadcasting.
Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday night Coach's Kage show, brought to you live from Arnie's Pizza in Rensselaer. I'm Bill Kage, joined as always by Bob Kurtz and Scotty Miller here from the 3KG group. We've got a lot of girls basketball to get at here tonight, full slate of coaches hopefully, and of course we're going to start us off by talking some West Central football yet as the Trojans stretch their fantastic season into the sectional championship game against Carroll last week, so we'll get into that real soon here with Coach Mark Hall of the Trojans. But first, just a real quick recap of last night's action.
We should say we got booted off the air there,
Booted
unfortunately,
off the
at the
air.
end.
Oh, boy. Yeah,
Somebody pulled the plug on us.
Yeah. I'm going to start with that. Some of the things we didn't get the game recap in case anybody was watching that or wanted to know real quick here. Last night, that was a 59-33 Valparaiso Lady Viking win over Kankakee Valley.
Boy, Valpo was impressive, weren't they?
Oh, they were. Man, what defense, Bob, huh? They were like the epitome of how you want your girls to play.
Trapping zone defense, full court and half court.
And just hardcore action from tip to the final buzzer all the way. They had three girls in double figures, led by Becca Gert with 16, 13 by Kristen Bucata, who was just a whirlwind of a defender. Lillian Barnes scored 11.
A freshman.
Yeah. Campbell McLaughlin had a couple threes for 6 points. Nora Flynn had 4 points by Reagan O'Halleck, and 2 each from Skylar Dobberton and Ashanti Bradley. Valparaiso shot 46% from the field, and mostly layups. You can figure that out. 26 of 56. Good on 3 of 9 triples for 33%. 4 of 9 from the line, 44%. The Cougars, not so good. 13 of 39 from the floor for 33%. 4 of 16. They really settled for a lot, especially in the early going on the three-pointers. So just 25% there over the arc, and then 3 of 6. They didn't get to the line very much either. They were led in scoring, a heck of a game by Lily Toppin. She did all she could, man, to get the Cougars back in. In fact, she had a couple threes in the second and two in the second and 2 in the third. And if it wasn't for her, Bob, her scoring 15 points, man, it would have been even a longer night for the Lady Cougars. Because then it dropped off after her double figures there. Kate Thomas put in 6. You could tell she was still hampered a little bit by a shoulder injury, kind of tweaked it early on, and then just didn't seem to be herself. Abby Grandchamp had 4, and after that it dropped all the way down to 2 apiece by Olivia Plummer, Brooke Stewart, and Maddie Murray. Other games last night, and there was a full slate of Tuesday night action in the area. Delphi over West Central, 40-35. Seeger over South Newton, 58-18. DeMont Christian was a winner last night as they knocked off Whiting, 58-20. Hanover Central was handled. Rensselaer Central's Lady Bombers took care of them, 56-21, right here at Joe Bervin Gymnasium. Twin Lakes over Carroll, 57-43. KV's junior varsity remained undefeated on the season with a 54-22 win over Valpo JV.
You don't want to do some of the Evansville results from last night?
I could keep going. I could keep going.
I know
got
you
'em. Yeah, I know it's kind of, you like to pull the
maybe the
geography
whole
out
scoreboard, yeah. The whole state. The whole scores, I'll just read a John Harrell all the way from top to bottom.
Other girls returning to action, Rensselaer Central is 2-1 right now, and they're in action tomorrow. In fact, you can see that game right here on 3KG as Tri-County comes here to Joe Burvin.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Back on the Coach's Cage, Bob Kurtz, Bill Kay, Scotty Miller with you here from Arnie's. Appreciate Beth and the gang for cooking up some good pizza and drinks for us here.
Yeah, if you're in the area and hungry, come on by. We're a better place to be here.
We have the regulars come in about 7:15. They're here at Arnie's every Wednesday, so I'd like to see more of that. And
let's pack this place.
Yeah, like we did remember when North White and Rensselaer boys basketball teams were all in here?
I sure do. That was awesome. What a night that was.
The two sectional winners, yeah. So, well, we got one more piece of business with the football in the area, and it's Mark Hall from the West Central Trojans, who bowed out of tournament play last week in the sectional championship game at Carroll. Mark, just go through that game a little bit first.
Yeah, we went over to Carroll, and Carroll's a really good football team. Unfortunately, we weren't at full strength when we went over there to play them without our two leading tacklers on the year, Buzz Beiswinger and Jacob Pilarski. And Jacob's one of our leading rushers as well, ended up being our second leading rusher on the year. So it hurt not having those two around for that game. But Carroll's a really good football team. They're going to have their hands full this week with Adams Central, but hopefully that one turns out to be a good game. But overall, just on the game, we had everyone ended up getting it in, so they all have sectional championship experience now, and everyone's coming back from the team. So that's something to build on as we go forward into next season.
Did anybody play well for you that night?
Yeah, Aiden White ended up with, I think, 72 or 78 receiving yards on the night. Had close to 100 for the game with rushing added in, so he had our lone touchdown on the night. Austin Bolin played fairly well on defense as well, and we had some other guys that Zion Rodriguez had a sack on the night, so we had some guys that made a few plays here and there.
You've had some time now to reflect a little bit. 10-2 season, right?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's a great season. We did a lot of things this year that haven't been done in quite some time. We won the first conference championship in school history in the last 24 years. It's only the third overall in school history. We beat Winnemac for the first time in 10 years. If you look at overall wins, we had 10. It's only the fifth time in school history that there's been double-digit wins.
Really? Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that they can be proud of for this year, and that's one of the things I told them at the end. Is remind them of those things, that no one can take those away from you. Those are things that are going to be there forever. You guys did them, and you should be very proud of that. And I hope that after this, as time has gone on here in the last few days, that they've come to realize that and hold on to those things, because those are things that anytime they come back into the school, they go in the gym under the football banner, conference area, it's going to say 2022, right. And they were a part of that.
Double-digit wins, that's
hang on.
That doesn't come around too often for football teams, does it, in high school?
No, it's every once in a while you're going to have the teams that go to state. Those are definitely the ones that get to the double-digit wins, and it's going to take, you got to win at least all the regular season, at least one of the playoffs there to get to that double digit. So it is difficult, and there's not a lot of teams every year that get there, but we were fortunate that we had a lot of things that go in our direction this year, and we were able to come out on top and get to that double-digit platform.
Didn't sound right. Billy?
Doesn't sound right now. I don't know. Something doesn't
There,
seem right.
there
There.
it is.
If there was one game that you had to go back on and look and just stood out, I know I'm going to guess which one it is, but what would you say?
If we're going back to try to change something, probably the Culver game.
Well, not change, but which one was the best win, the most?
The best win, by far, the Winnemac one.
I knew it. I knew it. That's the big rivalry game.
Beating those guys felt great, and I'm just glad those kids, our kids on our team, got to experience that because they were second grade, first grade, and younger when last time we beat them. So for them to get that opportunity is great.
Even sweeter that it was on the road, I bet. It would have been nice at home, but
the last time we beat them was also over there too. I think actually the last 3 times we've beaten them has been over there. So it's
now next year, we got to do.
We got to break that, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's been a long time since we've won back-to-back against them too. I think it's been maybe 04, 05, something like that. So it's been a while. Maybe it was 06. Maybe it was 05, 06, something like that. It was in those middle O's somewhere in there the last time.
He started to ask it, but what game would you like to have back then?
Probably the Culver one.
Yeah.
5 turnovers and 12 penalties. That it's not a good recipe to try and win. And
that only happened one time, though, right?
Yes,
yeah.
that only happened the one time we had that. On the year, I think we only had like 15, 16 turnovers. So a third of them were in that game.
Got them out of the way in one game.
I guess. And that was one of the things that we were pretty good at this year is we didn't turn it over very often, except for that game. The rest of the time is we only had 15 or so in the year. We took the ball away 22, 23 times. So being positive on the takeaway battle always gives us a better opportunity to have wins, and that's one of the things we were pretty good at this year is taking care of it. So that's something that we can hopefully build upon next year and make that even wider gap where we turn it over less and take it away more.
All right, we give you a chance to get your seniors out of the way, and you got a bunch of them.
Yeah,
so take it away.
We had 10 seniors this year that did a really nice job for us, and some of them have been around for a while, and some of them were new to us this year and gave us a lot of good work and helped us out quite a bit with what we were trying to do. Some of the ones that came in this year and helped us, Josh Woodard was his first year playing. He's a kid that played offensive and defensive line for us to go right away. And
that doesn't happen very often.
No, and he came in and he was very confident in himself, and I think that freshman year he probably got hit around a little bit and realized he needed to do a little more work, and that's good because he ended up doing that. And every year he worked as hard as he could. His sophomore year ended up tearing some tendons in his finger in his hand, and then he had to have off-season surgery for it, and we weren't really sure if we were going to get him for his junior year, but ended up coming back. Doctors cleared him right before we started in August. But with injuries like that, there's sometimes you come back and you're nervous about him and worried about him. That's one of the things that, especially early in the year last year, he struggled a bit because he was constantly worried about his hand and things like that, which you should be. But at the same time, like the doctors cleared it, like things are okay, and he struggled a little bit. And then eventually he got over it. By the end of the year, was back to playing like he was capable of. But this year he got a complete off season. Didn't have to go through any surgeries where he wasn't allowed to lift, and he got in the weight room and he got after it. He ended up becoming, in the last, I think it's about 15 years or so, we have a board that's in the weight room that is for 3 lift totals, and he took over the number 1 all-time spot in that 15 years that the board's been there. So he ended up lifting from bench squat clean 1,030 pounds. So he did a tremendous job there of getting in the weight room and getting stronger. And this year had a great season for us. He's one of our best linemen up front. And then on defense, he ended up being our second leading tackler. He had 65 total tackles, 24 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 14 quarterback pressures, 1 fumble recovery, and caused 2 fumbles. So he's going to be a hard guy to replace. And hopefully we got some guys that step up that are younger and see what he did and want to try to copy that. The last senior that we have on our list is Satine Olson. Satine, she started her freshman and sophomore year of high school being a cheerleader for us. And then she came to me during her sophomore year and said, "Would you allow me to play football?" And I said, "There's nothing that's fine. I don't care if you want to play football. That's okay." So she came out and played football for us as a junior, and then this year started playing football again. And then after about game 2 or 3 there, she decided she just wanted to be a manager. So she was our manager for the rest of the year, but she did a great job of making sure everything was ready for us as we went out for practice every day. She was the person who filmed our games and did a great job of making sure we had the things we needed to work on every week to get better.
I didn't realize. I had no idea you had a young lady playing football.
Yeah, she kicked for us for a few times last year, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. But what a season Buzz Beiswinger had. He ranks right up there with the top defenders in this area. Mm-hmm. As far as the games that we saw, he was just outstanding, dominant.
Yeah, and he could be. And that's one of the things we had told him going into the year is that if you're getting blocked, it's because you're not working on that play. You're not giving your best effort. And so I think he took that to heart. And a lot of times, and he got 65 tackles, and 24 tackles for loss. There's a lot of times he was just disrupting things in the backfield, then other people got the tackle because he was disrupting things and they were trying to run away from him. So he also took on a lot of double teams this year that people decided, hey, we're going to have to do something to try to stop him, and he still did a tremendous job.
Have you, as the Midwest Conference all-conference team, been announced yet or not?
I think it is allowed to be announced now because it was supposed to come out when the last team lost in sectionals, and that was us.
Well,
so
tell us, do you know who made your team?
We had a good showing in all conference.
You should if you win the conference, right?
Yeah, we had a lot of guys. We had 7 guys that we had nominated. We had 5 make all conference and 2 make honorable mention all conference.
Tell me who they are.
So all conference guys we had Aiden White, Connor Marlatt, Spencer Lehman, Jacob Pilarski, and Buzz Beiswinger made all conference for us. And then honorable mention guys were Blake Hughes and Zion Rodriguez.
Nothing like your whole backfield being all conference. That's pretty good.
Well, as we have talked about before, we spread the ball around a lot in our offense this year, and we've had some years in the past where it's been 1 or 2 guys, but this year we were able to get a lot of guys involved back there. Our leading rusher this year, we ran for 2,500 yards as a team this year, which was 5.93 yards a carry, which was pretty good. And we had our leading rusher only had 657 yards. So we had that was Connor Marlatt at 657. We had Jacob Pilarski at 594, Aiden White at 411, and then Spencer Lehman at 385, and Jaden Miller at 282. So we were able to spread that ball around a lot, and when you do that, you get a lot of people that are guys coming back that were starting in that last game, and then we've got a 4th guy that played a lot offensive line and started a few games as well. So we've got the potential to have 4 guys come that have starting experience up front for next year. So our biggest places where we're going to have to find some people are going to be at the receiver position, corner position, and then the defensive line is where we're going to be a little bit thin at. Now, it kind of may sound odd since I just said we've got guys coming back on the offensive line, but truly having the depth on the defensive line was really big for us this year. So that's where we're going to have to try to get some of that depth and some of those younger guys and develop them a little bit more. And hopefully we were able to do that because having that ability to rotate up front defensively, I think, was huge for us because it keeps us fresher. Because a lot of the teams we're playing are the same size as we are, and they have limited on numbers. They don't have as many offensive and defensive linemen, so there's the same guys playing all the time. And so if we can rotate guys, that just keeps us a little bit fresher and it allows us to play a little bit better.
You got 17 guys coming back. Some schools don't have 17. The whole team.
Yeah. So we are hoping we can pick up and get close to 30 as we go into next year. That will really, I think, benefit us, and that's what our goal this year is to get to 30. And we were at 31 at one point, but we lost some kids here and there throughout the season. But we're just hoping we can try to get back towards that 30 count again, and that gives us potentially we could play some JV if we can get to that point. That's really a good number to get to try that, but we're just hoping we can get there. And with the season we had, we're hoping that some kids were kind of on the fence. They're maybe a little more inclined now to
what
want to come
what
out.
a recruiting tool that is. 10-2, right?
Yeah,
right?
and
Conference champs.
So hopefully that persuades some kids to come out, and we're gonna have to start getting after it right away here. We're going to start our off-season program, a lifting program for anybody that's not in a sport, a winter sport. We're going to start on Monday. One of the things I also told the guys in our meeting on Monday when we were turning in stuff is we're no longer the team that's just kind of lurking back there. We're front and center now.
You got the big bullseye.
Everyone is coming after us now. So we're going to have to work twice as hard as what we did this year in order to be successful next year. And I think the guys understand that, and I think they're going to be up for the challenge.
All right, Mark, last time to talk to you, you got some thank yous I'm sure you want to give to your team. Or to
definitely a thank you to all the guys that came out and played. Football is once it starts, it's a quick season.
Right.
But all the lead up, build up into it makes it feel like it sometimes longer than what it actually is. But the effort they gave this year cannot be more proud of what they did, and thank them for everything they did this season to get Trojan football back to where it needs to be. The parents did a great job this year of just letting their kids play, and that's been a blessing that we've had so many parents allow their kids to play here at West Central. And then all the things they did to help the kids this year to make it a special season. We had Thursday night meals. Once we got to the playoffs, it was every night or every Thursday night, and then throughout the years for the big games. And just the support they gave us as we went through the season, all the stands were always packed. There was a couple games that we were on the road. We had more in the stands than the home teams did. So just the support we had from the parents, the community. We had community support. We came back from the Winnemac game. After that game, we had a fire truck escort. Then after the North White game, winning the conference championship outright, we had another fire truck and police escort.
You got a lot of territory to cover, don't you?
Yeah, so we went through Francisville, we went through Madairyville. So that was just great to see, and the community was happy for us and just excited about what we were doing. So big thanks to them and coming out to support us and helping us cheer us on as we went through those games. And it was just great to see that, and for these kids to experience it, it's awesome. The administration, athletic director Jeff Messer, principal, assistant principal, superintendent, all the support they give us, the school board, making sure we have everything that we need to put out the program that we have for football. So just cannot do that without all of them, and then all the teachers giving us some extra work in there, because there's sometimes my football players and all football players, they probably aren't the best students in class, and they need a little extra encouragement from time to time. And so the help they gave the kids make
our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Back on the Coach's Cage, Bob Kurtz, Bill Kay, and Scotty Miller with you tonight. Start our girls basketball segment with Missy Tyler, coach of the Tri-County Lady Cavaliers. Missy, good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
All right. Well, refresh our memory. What did the Cavs finish last year? How many people did you lose off last year's team?
So we finished 10-10.
Okay.
And we lost 4 seniors. We lost Bryn Warren, Shelby Shambach, foreign exchange student, Isabella, and Roy Stearns.
Okay. I remember Roy Stearns. She
Yeah,
got hurt.
she
one
tore
games we did.
ACL.
I remember
Yeah,
that
like
game.
Game 3.
I can never get that out of my mind there, just seeing her scream in pain there.
Yeah.
But anyway. So let's talk about this year. How many girls do you have out?
So we have 14.
14. And
Yep.
how's it been going so far, the preseason practices? And
I think they're good.
Leading up to the
intensity's
year.
up, and girls are working hard, and still got some little things to fix. We got to improve our free throw shooting percentage, and I feel like we make our shots, and then we get to the games, and then we don't think about shooting. But hopefully we've sent some messages, and we get that cleared up. But so I have 4 juniors, 4 sophomores, and 6 freshmen.
no seniors?
No seniors.
No seniors.
No seniors.
That's good and bad, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Senior night
yeah.
will be quick then.
Right. Yeah.
Well, let's. Well, as a coach, what do you want to shoot from the free throw? Don't say 100% because nobody shoots 100%.
I want to be 70 or better.
70 or better.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd be happy with that.
I would. Yeah. I mean that's what we're shooting for. I don't know.
How much time and practice do you spend shooting free throws? And how do you do it? I mean, do
So
they?
we do it a variety of ways. Like, sometimes we just go to a basket and you're going to shoot for 20 minutes. They shoot streaks, so they're trying to shoot like how many they can get in a row. And then when they miss, they don't. Today they shot 2 and they ran down and backs for every one they missed. And
Gives
then
them
they
a
had to
little
get on.
motive there.
Right. Then they got on the line, and if they didn't shoot 70% as a team, then they ran again a different running thing. Just trying to put that, because in a game it's like that. Like,
Sure
you
it
feel the
is,
pressure.
sure.
Everybody's looking at me. If I don't make mine, now we're going to run. Like,
Yeah.
they have to have that, I think, just a little more toughness to get them through to the game situation. So we do it. We shoot free throws, almost every day in a variety of ways. Sometimes there's pressure, sometimes there's not. Yesterday we had them all like get around, kind of like in D1 camp when you're all trying to shoot and everybody's hoarded around you just screaming at you. We even tried that tactic, like something just to get them. Then they get to a game like, oh, that was easy. No people were screaming at me
No
or hitting me
problem,
with noodles or, yeah.
Let's talk about
So-
some of the key players on your team.
So my juniors, running our point is Sarah Zarzi. She is a freshman last year. She's not a junior. She's a sophomore. So she, as a freshman, she ran the point, and probably one of our best defenders. Feet's always moving, hands are always moving. I felt like Pioneer got us on Saturday, but Ashlyn Brooke probably saw one of the best defenders that she's going to see. She was still able to create, but Sarah's a great defender. Then you have Hannah Arvin. Hannah's, with her height, is putting her underneath the basket, but she can handle the ball. She can shoot from the outside. She's really good at going to the basket. Lizzie Baylor, Lizzie and Ella Culp would be the other 2, and they're gonna split their time, but they're gonna dress varsity, and they both got on Saturday, and keep seeing big improvement from them. And, of course, their role is different as a JV player than what it's going to be when they're in the varsity game. But they accept those roles, and then they work hard. So my juniors would be Janetta Whitmire.
I remember her.
Yeah, she's not real big, but she can
Plays a
battle.
lot bigger than what she is.
She does. She plays like sometimes that she's a big man, but she, and she's got an inside-outside game, and she'll get in there and rebound, and she'll battle back. And then we have Alyssa Tallman, guard. She joined us last year, and she battled through some injuries last year. Like, early in the year she broke her nose at Carroll, and then she had to wear a mask the rest of the year. And I feel like that's a lot for a kid to have to play through. But she did that, and so she's a quick guard, good little shooter. Get her confident enough to think like a shooter and
Sure.
to keep shooting. And then Jasmine Durando, so she's up from JV last year, and she's a quick little guard. Good little role player. And then Jasmine Province. She's up from JV too, and she'll maybe play a little bit of both for us, but good little role player and keeps working on her game. And I think that about all my kids. They want to get better, and they push each other, and they're very positive kids. Like, And they just want to keep learning and working hard.
Well, as long as you have names like Tallman, Zarcy,
A
and
lot of familiar
Right,
names.
yeah.
Huh? Tri-County
Arvin.
area.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Those are names like, yeah.
back when you were covering
generations, yeah.
the Cavaliers then, back in those days. Well, what are
Yeah.
your expectations this year? I'm assuming you want to be more than 10-10.
I do. I want to be more than 500. We want to make a run sectional, and so like we lost 10 games. I'd definitely like to have 5 of those back. Like if you really want to know.
Sure.
And I feel like that's, definitely that. I mean, we prepare to win for every game, so we want to be in there and be ready to battle, and feel like we are.
What's the identity of the team this year? Are they shooter? What do they hang their hat on? Or what do you think?
Freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Ream Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Coach's Cage Show on 3kgthecage.com. You can check us out on our website or go to Facebook page. And also we will have, sometime later on this week, I'll put the games on our archives, and you can go to our YouTube page. Just go to our website, click on archives, and that'll direct you to our YouTube page, and you'll see all the games from that we've done so far, football, and we've done, 2 basketball games, and that's ready for a third tomorrow night. So Brian Heimlich has stepped behind the microphone now from the North White Lady Vikes. Brian, good to see you. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
One game to talk about, huh?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we went on the road and took on North Miami last week on Saturday. And we knew going in they were going to be a tough team. They had a lot of returners back from their team last year. It was very successful. Finished, they played CC in the regional final before we had played them. And so we knew it was going to be a physical game. They're a team that plays very physical. And, with all our we had five of our top 8 were playing basically their first varsity game. And so we kind of expected some things that, were going to be tough for us. But early on, I thought our girls played well and handled some of the pressure at times. Watching the film, going back and watching it, we had girls open at times against their pressure, and we just didn't make a bounce pass. We tried to throw it over the top or something, but we were in the right spots, which was good to see. And then defensively, they had some really good post players and very physical inside, and they took it at us. Got some offensive rebounds, and then right before the half, we were within 4. We had a couple girls in foul trouble, and really it was our Spry and Robertson both had 2, and those are our 2 main scorers back from last year's team, and they were I think we had it within 3 or 4, and just said if we could keep it right here and keep them on the bench and not get their third, we'll be all right. And then we just turned the ball over 2 quick times, about a minute, right at that minute mark, 30-second mark, and we're down 8 going into halftime, and then second half didn't have a very good start, and I think by the end of the third quarter it was up to 19. And that third quarter, watching film, was a lot of transition defense. Again, it's just learning some things. Girls got to learn, finding and communicating on defense. But to our credit, to the girls' credit, they didn't give up at that point. In fourth quarter, we just kept fighting, and they were fouling a lot. I mean, we had them in double digits the first half in fouls, and then the second half, the same thing going in that fourth quarter. And they fouled 28 times on the night. And that fourth quarter, the girls started fouling out, and we just kept picking the pressure up just a little bit, get some stops, and then going down and shooting free throws and hitting them. We ended up shooting 30 free throws on the night and hit 25 of them, which was, that's outstanding.
That's crazy good, isn't it?
25 of 30 and, over 80%. You're not going to get that very many nights out of a team. And so that was very promising. And just for the girls to just keep fighting and have a chance there. I mean, we got it it ended up 6. But I really thought the end of the first half and the start of the second half was a big difference in the game. But, some stars, scoring-wise, Tessa, we said we need to count on her to put points up the board for us. She had 17. And then we had Autumn Rife came off the bench, freshman, and played very well the second half. She just needs to get confidence because she's a very athletic girl. I think I talked about last week, and she ended up 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Had some big steals for us, some big rebounds, and I just thought she, once she got that confidence, she really came in and played well. Abigail Spry, handled the ball against the pressure. I thought did a good job. She just needs to learn she can't pick up some silly fouls at times. I mean, there were a couple of her fouls were just ones that, just reaching in the backcourt where she doesn't even need to be. And it was just something, she'll learn, get better at it. But I thought our younger kids that, their first varsity action played well. Morgan Carter knocked down a couple shots. The other senior, Callie Hunt, I thought played tremendous. Defensively, she didn't score a lot for us, but just was a good leader on the court all night, playing, hustling, making hustle plays, getting rebounds, getting stops, and just being a communicator out there. And that's what we need from our seniors is just some leadership out there to help these young ones along.
What was the biggest thing you learned from the first game?
Well, I think, watching it and just going over the film with the girls was defensively, we're not moving and communicating very well. We're kind of ball watching a lot, not being reacting or, kind of reacting and anticipating things as they're happening. We're kind of waiting until the ball almost is already passed to the next girl before all of us are reacting to it. And so some of that's just getting out and getting that game speed but a lot of it's talking too. Our girls, they're not talking, and when you get young kids out there, sometimes that's part of it. And so we've spent a lot of time this week in practice of trying to just get them to talk and communicate more on defense. And like I said, transition D is another thing that if you're not used to it, at middle school or even the JV level, sometimes the ball doesn't move as quick as it does at the varsity level, and so you think something happens at one end or you score. You got to sprint back and turn around at half court and look because it's coming at you. And we just didn't find a couple shooters a couple times, and they knocked down some threes. And in a hurry, that lead can go from 8 to 14. And so I think we'll get better at that. Offensively, I think your defense usually is ahead of your offense, and right now I don't feel that way. I think we're about the same, and so I think we need to really pick that up. At that end of the floor. Offensively, we'll just continue to get better, I think, as the season goes on and, figure out, kind of how each other play with each other with these young kids.
Coach, football coaches a lot of times say you get most improvement between games 1 and 2. Is that true for basketball too? Or?
Well, I think it can be. I think here probably between here and Thanksgiving is where we're going to see a ton of improvement just because these girls are going to get so much confidence just being out on the floor and playing in those games. Game 1 and 2, I don't know. I mean, with us this year, what it'll be. I'm sure there's going to be a big difference, but I think because the way our schedule's set up, we have a lot of practice time in between each one, so we can kind of see, and show them on film, and then so they can see it, and then hopefully go out in practice and we work on those things, and then then it'll be better for the next game as well. But I hopefully we go on the road to Caston Friday night. They're 3-0 right now and have a lot of returners from last year as well. So I told the girls after the game the other night, I was pleased with the way we did some things. We obviously have to work on some things, but I said it's not going to get any easier either as we go on here. So
especially
we got
this week.
Yeah, you get Caston, and then I think we turn around on Tuesday and play Carroll. So the big thing I told them was, these are not conference games. So we get these games to kind of, practice. It's just treat them as a practice game. We want to win them, obviously, but we got to learn. That's from day one. I've told them it's just we just need to be better than the last day, and I think they've taken that and really gone with it. But hopefully we can show that on Friday as well.
How did the JV do?
The JV lost by 11 over there, and then we were really pleased with the way they played. They hadn't. Some of them hadn't really practiced. We felt like practiced hard, and we kept telling them, you got to go harder in practice, and they played a lot harder in the game than they do in practice. And so, I think now they realize they do need to go a little harder in practice, but they did some positive things as well. And so it was a good. Even though we came away with 2 losses, I thought, overall, there were a lot of positives out of both of those games.
All right, Brian. Anything else, Billy?
I think that's it. We look forward to seeing you down the road, and wish you luck this Saturday.
And we'll talk to you next Wednesday,
Yep.
okay?
Yep, thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
Brian
it.
Heimlich from the North White Lady Vikings. Back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3KG, thekage.com right after this.
Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
High-quality personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117 or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
And welcome back to the Coach's Cage.
He don't even want to answer that question, does he? He don't want to answer
You know
that
who's
question.
stepped behind the microphone now, don't you?
Because he's in the hot seat now. It's me in the hot seat. It's him.
The one and only Wes Radke from the
He's in the
Rensselaer
hot
Central
seat
Lady
right now.
Bombers. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Hi, Wes.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself? 3 games already
Yeah,
to talk
3
about. games
and 4 tomorrow and 5 on Saturday and then Tuesday 6.
You're going to play a fourth of your schedule in the first week.
It does. It goes really fast and it's practice game. So whatever you got to fix from the night before, you got to get done in order to.
You'd like to have more practice time a little bit.
With a young team.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to complain because we're playing. So
that's right.
It's better than not playing.
That's correct.
Because we've been on that end of the spectrum, and I don't ever want to go back to that way. So we're playing, and the girls are getting better with every game and practice, and really coming together. So I'm very happy.
2-1. Let's. You got a lot to talk about. So let's go back to the opener.
We played West Central on the first opening game, and West Central came out and we got ahead of them, blew them out pretty good the first quarter, 16-2, and really were just with our pressure and our intensity, they were having a hard time with that. And then all of a sudden, that second quarter had 4 points, and actually she came in right away, and when she got in there and scored real quick and some rebounds and being physical and did some nice things for us. So, again, overall, there were some things we knew coming into the first game was going to be kind of questionable because Fleming, Mans, and Drone, that was their first varsity start. Actually, Taylor as well was her first varsity start. She played a lot of varsity last year, but unless my mind slips me, I don't think she started in a varsity game. But those guys, that was their first start. So it was going to be interesting for me to see what it was going to be like and just get that feel. But, again, we got the job done, and credit to Coach Mellon there at West Central. His girls played hard. The Bishop girl was hard to handle. She's a nice player. So
tough when you don't have any seniors too, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, we do have one. We have a senior.
I was talking West Central.
Oh, West Central. Yeah, he's he's got a young group too as well. So he's
Yeah.
going through some of that same stuff we're going through. So just a tough situation for him. But they're going to keep getting better, and it's going to be a challenge in the future. So.
All right, Saturday,
I need a reset button.
At least for 1 quarter, right?
At least for 1 quarter, definitely 1 quarter. It just we never felt like we really got into the flow. I don't know if it was because they have some seniors and experience, and we just didn't match that intensity. And I told a few people, it seemed like every time that ball would just go right to where they were at. I mean, we would deflect it, we would get a hand on it, and lo and behold, it would end up in one of their hands shooting a layup. It's like, are you kidding me? And so we went back and forth. At first half, we were up 9-8, and it was ugly. It was rough. And then at halftime, it's 18-18. And I don't know what Coach Goodman thought about it, but I thought it wasn't very good basketball on our part. Maybe she thought they were playing good basketball. I don't know, but we were just not playing up to our potential in any way, shape, or form. And they have some big girls. They have some good, solid, fundamentally sound big girls that can push you around. And we don't have that. Brody comes off the bench, and she's probably one of the strongest kids on the floor with anybody we play usually. But they had 3 of those. And we just got tossed around quite a bit, and we just struggled from the floor, had a hard time finding the basket, finishing things off. So in the third quarter, we're still up by 3. We're playing terrible. We're still up by 3. And we get into that fourth quarter, and finally we're up by 8 with 4 minutes to go. And, okay, let's all right, let's take care of the basketball here, and we just never did. We just rushed some shots, and sure, those shots fall. We're not having this conversation, but they don't. And we didn't finish things off. Didn't finish things off at the free throw line. 6 for 15 from the free throw line. That's not good. We hit those, we win the game anyway. And they just came down and hit some key shots, and we didn't execute. We called timeout and didn't execute the play we drew up, and just let that one slip away. It's one of those games where you wish you could have it back again, and we don't play them again anymore because we're 3A, they're 2A. So we just got to learn from that. I told the girls we got to learn from it, move on, and can't let that happen to us again. So we ended up losing 39-42 to a team we shouldn't have, but we did. Not sitting.
Got to play 4
that's
quarters,
every given day.
Yep.
Anybody can be beat, and
that's true.
That just happened to us last night. I mean, that night, Saturday night. So
who's your lead scorer there?
I'm sorry. We had 3 people in double figures. We had
and then nobody else scored it, right?
Drone scored 11. Van Meter scored 10. Kaufman had 10, and then Camry only had 2, and Brody didn't score, and Cadence had 4, and Fleming had 2. So it was just a really tough night to get the ball to fall in the hole. So just a tough night overall. In that game, and for Judson, they only had 1 girl in double figures, but they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the girls score. So they had 1 girl come off the bench who we didn't have any idea she could hit a 3, and she hit 2 of them. So it's like
always happens that way.
Always, and it seems like it happens to us every time. Like you give a scout report, girls. Okay, this girl, we haven't seen her hit anything. Next thing you know, she has the game of her life against the Bombers. So it's something that we have to get better at, and just know that anybody can put the ball in the hole. That's why we play the game. And that night we did play a JV game, and our JV ended up beating North Judson that night as well. And then we went to last night. So last night, we're 1-1, and I have a young team. Not sure, with Lola being the senior, and how are we going to react to this? Because again, Hanover is deceivingly very athletic, very quick. They have a new coach, so we knew there was going to be some unfamiliarity with them because they're still trying to figure out their new coach and the new system, but they're still going to play hard, and they did. It was the first quarter it was 13-7, and they're very quick. They run a lot of different things, and so we had to make some adjustments. But again, what the key for us was we came out, I felt, with more energy than we did in the Judson game. I felt like we had more confidence in what we were going to do and what we were capable of doing, especially sometimes you have to lose a game to figure that out. And I told the girls I'd rather hopefully figure that out now instead of at the end of the season when the game is on the line and we haven't figured that kind of stuff out yet. So, at halftime it was 25-11. We really ramped up our pressure, really started turning them over quite a bit, and was able to start pulling away there. And actually, I think what really sparked this is Caden stepped out and hit a big three in the corner, which really just seemed to really lift up the energy in the gym even more. So that really helped us spark that lead going into halftime. And then coming out the second half, which a big key to was trying to keep Kaufman and Van Meter out of foul trouble and some of the rest of them, which Roland gets in the game and right away picks up 2 fouls. And she gets in the first quarter, and I'm like, now we have to sit till the second half because of the fouls that she got herself into. But, Taylor stayed on the floor a lot more, and that third quarter between her and Roland and everybody just stepping up the defense, we put 20 points up in that third quarter, and in the third quarter it's 45-15, and we're really rolling along there and doing some really good things. And then, of course, we finish out the game 56-21 with Van Meter leading us with 19, Roland off the bench with 13. Brody came in that first quarter as well. We were kind of stagnant a little bit, hit a big three, so she had 5. Cadence Manns played probably one of the better games I've seen her play in her career, both offensively and defensively, had 8 points for us. And then, Lola came off the bench and stepped up and hit some good shots. And Sarah's kind of struggling here a little bit, trying to finish things off. She's having to play against the bigger girls sometimes, but, we're going to keep trusting in her that she's going to, find that rhythm to knock down those shots. And so she had 4. So, again, we end up 56-21, and we shoot the ball better at the free throw line. 12 for 18 is much better than what we've been doing in the past.
Yeah, we're going to play a road game, or are they all at home so far?
Saturday.
Oh, you got a road game Saturday? After
you
4?
Gets a schedule.
Yeah.
And he gets – I didn't see you last night.
Oh,
it gets quiet. Crickets.
We were doing KV and Vapo.
Yeah. So, but yes, we will go on the road Saturday at Knox, and then we'll turn around then Tuesday and go on the road to to Harrison to play McCutcheon and the IU Hoosier shootout there, Lafayette area shootout. So we'll go there, and then depending on what happens Tuesday, depends on when we play Friday and Saturday.
You like that tournament?
I do. But, fellas, we're talking 6, 7, 8, 9 games before Thanksgiving.
That's a bunch.
And you only play, what, 22?
Yeah, and then you look, and we played Twin Lakes on a Monday.
A Monday?
Yeah, so we've had to move some things around to try some stuff. So we, as far as basketball goes, if you like to play the game, we're going to get a lot of love because we're going to play a lot of games. Unfortunately, you're going to have to learn on the fly. That one practice, you try to make sure they're still staying in shape. You're still trying to make sure that they're got their shots going up and getting the looks they need, and then getting the continuity behind the drills, and then refreshing their minds with offense. Then you throw the scouting report on top of it and what our game plan is in that short amount of time, trying to get all that done. So it's a sprint right now.
So has the JV played 2 games or just 1?
Yes, JV played last night in a crazy game where, because we have 13 players and we have to play so many quarters here, quarters there, so we had already played and they went to overtime.
Oh, no.
So we
Does
had
that count as a quarter too, or no?
As long as they play the fourth quarter, it doesn't. But if they didn't play the fourth quarter, it does.
Oh, okay.
So we go into the overtime with 5 girls. Okay?
Uh-oh.
And one of them has 4 fouls. The other one has 3 fouls.
Ouch.
Well, halfway through, I mean, we're up. We're up now. We're beating them, and we got a 4-point lead, and Liberty Bait fouls out. Okay, we're down to 4.
4 playing.
4 playing.
How many? What can you play with? 2?
Well, let me finish.
Oh, okay.
So we have 4, and so Bailey, my daughter, she'll play no matter what. I'll play. What do you want me to play? So she says I'll play. So she goes in there, and she fouls out.
Now you're down to 3?
Now we're down to 3, and we're up. They have 5. And Coach York was there. He can vouch for me. We have 5, and they have 3. And we have 3, and they have 5. And we get the ball in twice.
That's a miracle.
And they're pressing us.
Yeah.
And we get the ball in twice. And it just 3-on-5, we just didn't get it. I mean, we got to the free throw line, could have knocked. We hit some free throws, and it just didn't happen. So it's 3-on-5. They step out and knock down a 3, and then something else happens, and they hit a layup. So they end up winning, beating us.
How do you play defense with 3 people?
It is harder than what people think to play against 3-on-5. When you have 3 people that really want to play hard,
yeah,
it's tough because you're not used to that. Like
you just play 2 down low and 1 on
top.
top.
Yeah, it's like a triangle, and you just try to force them.
I bet you don't practice that much.
No. Well, sometimes you do. You try to do that. If you can stop 5, if you can stop 3-on-5, then you should be able to stop 5-on-5, no problem. So, that comes down just really, and I'm so proud of those JV kids. I mean, Brooke Kage, man, that girl played hard. She showed heart. She showed determination. Addison Veldman and Cammie Davis, both of them freshmen. Okay, both of them freshmen that they were just like shell-shocked as far as what is going on right now. And we did. We almost pulled it off with 3 of those girls.
Oh,
it was.
That's been amazing.
Yeah, it was fun. And Van Meter's looking at me like, "Dude, you're killing me." I'm like, but we got to have for varsity games. So, but needless to say, they lost, but it was a great game and great hard-fought effort. And those 3 girls in particular, Brooke took an elbow to the mouth.
The next week till
so
next
then
Wednesday.
we go to Knox on Saturday, so we travel to Knox, playing against Coach Minix's team there. They're young and as well, and not as big as they've been in the past. So they're struggling right now. They're 0-2. They play tomorrow night against Morgan Township, so they're having some ups and downs there with his young team, but it'll be a battle because going there is always tough. And again, it's our first road game, so it's going to be a test for us as well, both mentally and physically. Are we going to be ready? Or what team's going to get off the bus? And so we have to be ready to take care of business on Saturday, because if not, Knox is going to love nothing more to rub it in on us and put it to us. So we have to be ready to go for the challenge on Saturday.
And then nothing Tuesday or
Tuesday is we go then travel to Harrison to play first time since I've been here that we play McCutcheon. So we're going to play McCutcheon the first round of that IU Hoops Classic, and they're young. Their star player from last year has graduated, so they've got some young players that our young players are familiar with, either playing against down at Legacy or playing with. In AAU or in the AAU circuit, playing against each other back and forth, between Camry and Brody playing with some of them and an Indiana Elite AAU team. They have some familiarity there within themselves. So, just figuring that out as well to see what McCutcheon has to go. And then after that, we'll see who we play the winner of.
Depends on if we win or lose.
Right.
Okay.
When we play on Friday and Saturday and going from there. And it's also a JV as well.
Well, good.
So we're going to have to play staggered, hopefully, If not, I don't know what we're going to do because I got to have guys for varsity, and so we've tried to work it out to where it's staggered, and those quarters don't count against anybody. So, we'll get plenty of playing time. And when you look at our schedule and you look at the girls we have, everybody's getting some great experience, whether it's on the JV level, the varsity level, and it's only going to benefit us in a long run when we get to tournament time and in our conference. You guys know how tough our conference is, and that Hoosier Conference with the teams we have to face, and we may take some lumps here or there, or have a little difficulty, but not looking ahead. But I am so happy with the progress these girls are making thus far, and we just got to keep it going in the right direction.
Wes, thanks for coming in. We'll see you tomorrow night, all right?
All right, fellas, and I hope that you come in a better mood than you are tonight. Now, you smiled the whole time. This guy, he doesn't smile for nothing.
Absolutely not.
So,
man, all right.
All right, well, thanks, fellas.
Thanks, all right. Rensselaer Central Bomber coach back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kg2cage.com right after this.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Joe Goodman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Yeah, the cleanup man is with us now. Chris York from the North Newton Lady Spartans. I'm Bob Kurtz along with Bill Kay, Scotty Miller, doing a beautiful job running things, controlling things on the board there for us. Tomorrow night, it's high school girls basketball as Rensselaer Central hosts Tri-County. That's a 5 o'clock JV start, so we'll be on the air around 6:15 or so with the live stream. And Chris, 2 games for the Lady Spartans. How you doing tonight?
Well, I'm doing all right. I mean, we've made it through the 2 games.
2 tough games for the Spartans.
2 tough games, starting out with a KV team. I mean, we talked last week, running the gauntlet these first 7 games. It's KV, it's Lowell. We play River Forest on Saturday. It's then Couts and Hanover and I think Benton Central's in there and Lake Station's in there.
You play Benton Central, do you?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
yes,
you don't normally do that, do you?
They did last year, and
Really?
I guess there were a few years, and I would have expected them to play all the time, honestly, just because of the proximity, I suppose, those couple of counties. But I guess last year was the first year they had played, so it was a couple-year contract, so we were lucky enough to play them again. But I mean, it's starting with KV, it was really tough. I mean, we're playing against established teams.
They got 13 upperclassmen.
There's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. But I told the girls, I mean, established teams that have their systems in place, and this is a new system, and not a lot of time to implement that system. I mean, honestly, it's really been since October 17th, and I sound like I'm making just 1,000 excuses, but reality is reality. I mean, you're playing teams that have been doing this for a long time, and we're just learning each other and stuff. So, we took some lumps already, and there's probably going to be more to be taken, but it'll be a learning process for sure.
What do you learn from let's start off with the KV game. What did you learn from that game?
Well, we had 36 turnovers in that game, so obviously,
ouch.
Right.
Yeah.
I came from a place though where last year we had 4 or 5 games with 50, so it's hard to put the ball in the basket when you don't have it. But
right.
In the KV game, I could bring out our shot chart, and we got a lot better shots than what I thought we would have gotten. But our percentage in making those shots wasn't very good. So we got a lot of shots inside the lane, a lot of stuff, and we were 6 for about 35 or something. And we were only 4 for 14 from the free throw line. So we scored 16 points in that game, but it could have looked a whole lot better.
You missed a lot of layups?
We missed a lot of layups.
Yeah, that's
a lot
basketball.
of little bunnies. Yeah, I know. And even in my former life as a coach in the early 2000s,
Your former life.
You draw these things up and you look at the shot charts and you see all these places where you get the shots exactly where you want them, and it's just a matter of just putting them in. And,
right.
But what do you learn? You learn that you had the opportunity to score a lot more points than you did. Just hitting half of those shots, you should be 50% on those shots in the lane. So if you just hit half those shots, we can get into the 30s. And against a team like KV, I think that would be a big plus. So I think, we learned that we can get decent shots. We learned that we need to, hit free throws. I mean, we're a team like probably most others where, you shoot a bunch of free throws in practice, you make a bunch, everybody's reporting all these great scores, and then we get into the game and you freeze up a little bit because you're a little more tired than what you are. There's butts in the seats and all that stuff. So, we're just translating some good free throw shooting in practices into games. That'll be good too.
Look at what North White did. They made 25 out of 30.
Yeah.
In their game the other night.
Yeah, that's
holy smokes.
That's good stuff there.
I never heard of that before, ever.
Yeah,
in high school teams.
That's really good. And then on Saturday,
played Lowell.
Yeah, we played Lowell. It was another one where we got pressured. We had a bunch of turnovers again. We had, I think, 36 on that one too, 37. And the first half, we didn't run anything. We pretty much have a couple of things we do against zone because we're just kind of learning each other, and it was just a lot of standing. We really didn't do anything. And then we went into halftime. we kind of drew it up on the chalkboard again, and I already used a bunch of timeouts in the first half just to try to keep it close. But in the third quarter, we watched that on Monday, and we were running what we were supposed to run. It looked like we knew what we were doing. I mean, there were other parts of the game that didn't go so great, but it looked a lot better in the second half against Lowell. So maybe we play them again. It doesn't wind up being whatever the score was, 50-something to something to be said for that. I mean, and teams from around here that know KV know what KV is.
Mm-hmm.
That just kind of solidifies the idea that you've got these different tiers.
Right,
yeah. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, unbelievable. I mean, at the game last night, watching Rensselaer and watching Hanover play each other, we're watching, and I had 3 of my girls there watching too, and they're like, man, both those teams are really fast. And as good as Hanover looked and as quick as they were, Rensselaer was in a completely different tier than what Hanover was last year. And then, you see this, everybody considers around here KV to be a very, very good team.
Right.
And they run into that buzzsaw, which is Valpo. It's just completely different leagues. So, yeah.
So if you turn the ball over, you're not going to have much success. That's for sure. That's the theme, right?
Can't score that way, no.
Yeah, you can't. And it leads to easy, well, it did last night, to easy layups on the other end.
Yeah, and that's something, too. I mean, a lot of the points that we gave up in both of our games had to do a lot with our turnovers. We do need to improve on our defense quite a bit, too. But when you start that ball rolling, where you're giving up the ball and they're getting super easy shots, morale goes down a little bit. It's hard for them to really stick with, nose to the grindstone and really play defense and try to stop people. So, the two things will go together. Once things start going a little better in a game, I think the defense will be ramped up and we'll maybe stop some more people too. So.
Do you think that will be a problem throughout the year, turnovers, or do you think it's just early and you'll be able to correct it later on in the year?
Well, I think it could be a problem. I think I think I talked last week about just needing to find ball handlers. And in the KV game, we had one person that started out as the ball handler, and then as the game kind of progressed, we found success with somebody else. So that's what it was on Saturday, and I think that's what it's going to be. But you can't just have one person. There's got to be more people. Right. When you're getting hounded full court, you've got to have a couple more people to handle the ball. And I have a couple of younger girls, I think, that could possibly do it some, but when they're handling it, they almost give you that look like, this is not what I do. And I may, again, have said this last year, but there are a couple people in the same class as, a player that played last year as a freshman and did not come back. So throughout 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, these 2 girls have never had to handle the ball because that other player did it. And now they have to.
Right.
So, that's kind of a problem. So, yeah, I mean, it's possible that we could have turnover issues throughout the season. But, it's going to be a matter of if we're not going to have that lights-out ball handler that just can go through people like a Carissa Walter used to or something like that, right? Then you better be good at your press break, and you better be where you need to be and get open and pass, and break the press.
How much time do you spend on a press breaker, trying to break the press?
In practices?
Yes.
Oh, obviously not enough. With what we've had at practice leading up to this week, it was kind of hard to have any kind of continuity and do a press breaker because you could barely go 5-on-5.
Right.
You'd like to go 5-on-7, 5-on-8, and they've talked about maybe bringing boys in or something to play against the boys team. And so I guess I could be open to that. But, when you're having difficulty with it, you need enough people out there because if we just go like varsity against JV,
it's not a contest.
It doesn't really do much good.
Right.
It doesn't help anything. You just run right through it, and you're like, okay, well, I hope that KV plays defense like this, but they don't. And we have grown. I mean, since Friday we've added 3, so we'll have 14. And that's that's better than the 9 we had to start with. We'll have 14 as of the 30th.
Now, are you playing JV or no?
Not yet.
Not yet. Hope to eventually?
We hope to. I think that we'll be able to really play because we've got 11 people right now, and 4 of our 11 I wouldn't play on JV. So that leaves us with 7, and when some of those 7 are going to need quarters for varsity,
then you're going to end up like
going to end
Rensselaer
up
did last night.
just like Coach Radke, yes. And I don't want to get to a situation where I've got 3 on the court,
No.
4 on the court.
No.
I think that's more embarrassing than just not having a JV game.
Probably hurts the girls in the long run because it makes them shell-shocked a little bit.
I would say so. And, being a hockey dad, I see 5-on-3 on a regular basis. When
we go.
When my son's
Talking Bills.
when my son's teammates, because he's a goalie, when my son's teammates, we got 2 guys in the box, and he's got to face 5 guys with his 3 in front of him. So that kind of brings back memories from weekends. But
you guys want to talk a little hockey,
No,
Bill? You're a hockey.
I'm a hockey aficionado. Yep, got a grandson who plays over in Illinois. They love it.
Yep.
So
hey,
it's
next
great.
week you are
Go ahead. Yeah.
next game at River Forest.
Yes,
on
on Saturday we play at River Forest. I'm familiar with them because of being at Calumet the last 2 years, being in the conference. And last year, the coach that they have right now, she took over, I don't know how many games in, but it took a while for River Forest to win a game. And I think when we played them, I think they had 1, or maybe we were their first win. Either way, we played them in December sometime, and they finished with 7 wins. And that's kind of impressive, right?
Yeah.
But they did have 3 or 4 seniors that I remember, and I'm in the process of watching their game against East Chicago from last week. They got beat by about 20, but I do remember one girl that they had that was a really good shooter from the baseline. They played a 3-2 zone, and I remember, there was another girl that I wasn't familiar with, but another that hit a 3, and then there was a girl that was really pretty quick at the front of their 3-2. Which I didn't really remember from last year, so maybe it's a new player. But they did lose 3 or 4 girls that were seniors that were point scorers. And then if we're looking at the rest of the schedule, River Forest I think is a pretty good matchup for us right now. So I hope that goes well, and I hope it looks more like I was going to say a basketball game. That's not really fair. I just hope it's more balanced, more even. I hope that we can show more of what we can really do when we're not playing a team that we're overmatched against. And then we get right back into the meat grinder next week because we have Couts on Tuesday. And I know Couts is good. I know Couts has got at least 3 really good shooters. Ron does a really good job coaching them, and he has for a long time. They're going to be solid in all aspects of the game. And then we were supposed to play Hanover on Saturday next week. But I have a conflict. My son's going to be running in the All-Star meet near Cincinnati on Saturday, and I kind of don't want to miss that. So since we're playing Hanover, where I teach and where my son goes to school, they had no problem with rescheduling the game to Thursday night.
Cool.
That's nice.
So I can go and see that.
Well,
so that's
nice,
cool. But
yeah.
And Hanover's going to be a tough test as well. I mean, they're just.
That's
quicker
why
than-
you were at the game last night.
That's why I was watching my niece play and a little bit of scouting, but I didn't write anything down. I was sitting with my parents and watching them play, and they're a team they're scrappy, they're quick. Larry's somebody that I coached with, before, so I know how he does things. I know what he expects. So it's going to be kind of another mountain for us to deal with against them, and I want to say after that it may be Benton Central the following week. So it's Tuesday, Thursday, Benton Central on Monday, and then the following Monday, Lake Station. So
where's the light part of your schedule here now?
Well, that kind of depends on what we become.
That's right. It's up to you, right?
Yeah, I mean, we do have some decent prospects. We really, really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a matter of learning each other. And again, last year's the group that comes back really didn't have any experience,
right?
Besides McKenna, and people just playing at the speed that varsity is, and knowing plays, just knowing where you're supposed to be, so that this is one of those things where if one person's not where they're supposed to be, it kind of throws the whole thing off, and everybody starts looking around, and so it'll get there.
Chris, thanks for coming in tonight.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, and good luck, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday, all right?
Have a good broadcast tomorrow night.
All right.
Thanks,
Chris
Chris.
York from the North Newton Lady Spartans, back to wrap things up on the Coach's Cage show right after this.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics. Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
All right, ready to wrap things up here on the Coaches Show. Thank all the coaches for coming in. And, Billy, we'll see you tomorrow night. Rensselaer Central hosting Tri-County, 6:15 for the pregame show. JV game starts at 5, all right?
Looking forward to it, Bob.
All right, that'll do it from here. I'd like to thank all the sponsors for making the show possible, and Beth and the gang here at Arnie's for bending over backwards to make us feel welcome. And Scotty Miller, as always, did a great job on running the board. For my partners, Bill Kay and Scotty Miller, Bob Kurtz, so long, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of 3KG Community Broadcasting.